Hello, and welcome again to the show where I sit here and talk about things and stuff and still don't have a name for it yet. So, like I said last time, if you have thoughts or ideas or suggestions or puns or something like that to throw at me about what you should call this or what I should call this, then bring it. This is part two in a three-part series about faith and what part it should play in our daily lives. First one was about faith and identity, and how if your faith is so wrapped up in your identity and you start to question your faith, then your identity goes with it. And this one's going to be going after the realm of politics. I know. Hopefully, I'm not just painting a big red target on myself for everyone who has a different opinion to come and slay me online. Though I wouldn't be offended if that happened. Not that I think online is the best place to be talking about these things, like comments and stuff, but hey, whatever way we can open up dialogue, the better, right? Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. So, disclaimer, this is just my opinion. My views do not necessarily reflect or endorse. No, just kidding. Your faith should inform your politics, but should not be so tightly wrapped around your politics or your political ideas that you're unable to have a reasonable conversation with someone who has a different view. Let me break this down a little bit more. Am I saying that faith and politics have no business working together? Am I saying that there should be a separation between church and state? Wait, what? Where did that come from? What? Oh, well, I mean, I guess while we're on the topic, no, that's not what I meant. This little phrase spoken? Actually, it was written once by a dude long dead, has come to mean that one of religious men should not interfere in politics. And if that's not what you think it means, then by all means, please clarify in the comments how you interpret this. But I saw the exchange between Mr. Jefferson and the Connecticut Church as the opposite. That he was reassuring these good people that the government cannot tell the church how to run or pass laws infringing on its freedoms. But I guess it could go either way. If state can't tell church what to do, then why should church tell state what to do? It's a legitimate argument. On another note, we say that we can't legislate morality, but kind of we do actually. We legislate someone's morality, telling people something is right or wrong, and punishing people for doing that said wrong thing. Making legislation fit this moral standard of right and wrong. Yeah, we do that. That happens. We don't murder because it's morally wrong. We also don't murder because it's legally wrong. So, of course, it gets tricky when you start asking questions like, what if I kill a person in self-defense? Is that murder? Well, no, because according to dictionary.law.com, murder is defined as the killing of a human being by a sane person with intent, malice, aforethought, prior intention to kill the particular victim or anyone who gets in the way, and with no legal excuse or authority. In those clear circumstances, this is first-degree murder. Thank you, dictionary.law.com. So no, it's not murder, it's justifiable homicide. So you may believe that killing people is wrong in God's eyes, and that's fine, but you can't just use religious grounds to make laws. So let's go back to the actual thing that I wanted to talk about. That is, we should be able to have discussions about politics without faith getting in the way. Our faith should not. Our faith should be a stable platform for us to build our ideas about what politics should be and what they should look like and inform those decisions. Our faith should not be the thing that makes us go, you're wrong and I'm right because God said so. No. In the same way that your identity can come crashing down when your faith gets shaky, your political standing and ideas can do the same. If your politics are so wrapped up and defined solely by your religion or faith, then as soon as your faith gets pushed around, your entire political mindset gets pushed around and gets shaky, and you feel threatened. Instead of this, we should have the ability to talk about political things in a calm and rational way without our faith jumping in and being like, God said it, I believe it, and that's the way it is. Please stop. Stop. That's not helping. It's not helping anyone. And this goes for all kinds of faith. Even if you have faith that you lack faith. Your non-faith should not come up in a conversation and give you license to belittle or attack a person of faith. If you actually think that there should be a separation of church and state, then your snide comments about how stupid people are that believe in God really have no place in the conversation. No, Bixby, I don't want you. Who put Bixby on the Bixby button on the S8 is really becoming quite an issue for me because I just want to push the power button. I don't want to start my unintelligent artificial intelligence. What I really wanted to talk about, I've already talked about. Secondary to the thing that I wanted to talk about was a hot button topic like abortion or gun control. If your faith informs your decision about who you vote for or how you form your political beliefs concerning abortion, then fine. It's great. However, if you lack the ability to talk about the legitimacy of some types of abortion without your faith causing great distress and turmoil and anger within you, I see that as a hindrance, not a help. For example, and I'm just going to preface this with I shouldn't be personally attacked because I can say the following. I've read a story where a 28-year-old woman who had a kid and a husband, a 5-year-old and a husband, was pregnant and told that she had a 5% chance of living, her and the child. If she carried the child to term, they would both die. They were 95% likely to die. She was obviously distressed by this, and she went to church looking for comfort, and she had decided, reasonably, that she would terminate the pregnancy so she could live and continue being a wife and a mother. And the church basically shamed her into not having an abortion. So she carried the child to term, and she and the child both died, leaving behind her husband and her 5-year-old child. And so this is a really complex sort of thing. If you can't, and if you cannot think about it without your religion saying ending any life is terrible, etc., well, then you miss things like the choice for her to go through with this was effectively committing suicide. The choice for her to carry the child to term meant that she was making the choice for both of them to die. And so she killed 2 people, not just one. And when you think about it, it's almost like self-defense. If you choose to have the procedure to terminate your pregnancy so that you can continue to live and be a mother and a wife to people that you've made a commitment to, is that reasonable? And so I understand that you may believe that life is sacred, but the mother's life is sacred too. The fetus's life is sacred too. So is God displeased if you have an abortion for a legitimate reason? It's worth a discussion, and it's worth a discussion where 2 people don't immediately just attack each other for a different perspective. If you could step outside yourself for a couple of minutes and see that there are multiple perspectives in it, and then discuss your thoughts and your feelings in a way that is productive, and I feel like we could make progress. But if we don't have that ability and we're just gonna keep nailing each other for all the things, then I don't think we're gonna make any progress. So maybe you say that, like, well, in those certain circumstances, abortion is okay. So then, if abortion is okay for this certain circumstance, then don't you have to pretty much just make it okay? Like, anyone can choose to do it? Another argument is, wasn't abortion happening way before it was legalized? It wasn't abortion happening in a pretty pretty terrible ways before it was legal, before there were proper procedures. So if it's going to happen one way or the other, would you rather it happen in a situation that's gonna cost the life of both people? If both people are gonna die, then wouldn't you rather it happen where only one has to die? I mean, let's not get caught up over the idea of like, when does it begin to be alive? I mean, that's biologically a dumb question because life doesn't start at any point. Egg cells and sperm cells are alive, and they fit the definition of a living cell, independent of each other. So that doesn't make any sense as to why, when they combine, they would be not alive. It is life. It is a life. And if it's human DNA, it will grow and develop into a human being. I don't know where the idea that it's not alive could hold up scientifically. It can't. And so you have to deal with that. You're ending a life. How you do that, why you do that, and all that kind of stuff was a different story, but it's a life. And if you choose to end it, you are ending a life. But I think, as we've already covered, there sometimes are legitimate reasons to end a life. And you still have to live with it and deal with it, but sometimes it happens. Back to the original argument, if these things are going to happen, wouldn't you rather there be a place where you could go where it can happen safely for you as the mother, rather than having to go to some shady place where they're going to do God only knows what? Making it legal and giving people a safe place to do it, if it's going to happen either way, makes a lot of sense. People make this argument. If you teach safe sex practices, aren't you condoning people going out and having sex? Not necessarily, no, you don't. Just because you teach someone how to do something safely, or just because you give someone a safe environment to do something, does not mean you condone that practice. Just because people go through the streets and give people clean needles who are addicted to heroin does not mean those people approve of the decision of those people to do heroin, but they would rather them use clean needles and avoid getting terrible diseases that cannot be cured, and give them a chance to live a life beyond heroin addiction, rather than be addicted to heroin and contract a deadly blood disease. So just because we have places for people to go get abortions, that does not mean that we condone the act of abortion in all situations. But if we open up the freedom to have an abortion for one situation, then we reasonably have to open it up for other situations that we don't agree with as well. We can't pick and choose which situations we're going to legalize. There's a way to talk about both things that are important, as in, like, it is life, it is ending a life. It is human killing humans. But if we give them legal authority to do it, it's not murder. But if it is going to happen, then there should be a place for it to happen properly and safely for the mother. There's different ways to look at this. There's obviously two opposing sides, and the fact that I can just have a conversation with myself without getting angry with myself, I think, I mean, I know I need help, but my point is, we should be able to express these things and other things. I don't have time to talk about gun control, but I'd love to do one about that if anyone wants to hear what I think about that, or anything else for that matter. But we can talk about hard things, and we can do it respectfully, intelligently, and without freaking out and letting what we believe about God, or what we believe about not there being God. Does that make any sense? What we believe, things that cannot be tested or proven, get in the way of intelligent, real conversation. That's it. That's my piece. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. If you don't like this video, dislike, comment, subscribe, or do what you want. I don't care. Fine. And yeah, share this video with other people that you think would agree or disagree. Because it's good to share things that we disagree with and be able to have conversations about that. This is part 2 of a 3-part series, and I'm going to get the next one up as soon as I can. So until then, be reasonable people. Be reasonable people. Be reasonable, people. Be reasonable people. I like it. Bye.